God, Tyler's haunting me. Hello, my name is Valentine, and today we are playing a little game. That game is Breach Bingo. Essentially, what Breach Bingo is my predictions for what will happen in the upcoming 21 Pilots album, Breach, out in September, but in like a fun way instead of just reading off my list of predictions, because that's just boring. We have fun around here. My goal is to get this video out the day before the contract drops, but we have a little problem there. Today is the 10th of June, 2025, and if you're not aware, the contract drops on the 12th. So I have 2 days to get my shit together, record this, and edit. So if this is out after the contract drops, just ignore it and pretend it's before. Pretend you never even watched it. We haven't even seen it yet. It hasn't dropped yet. All of these predictions are mine. However, I would like to give full credit to the creator of this bingo board, 221 Pilots Click on Instagram. They made this beautiful image that I have royally fucked up, but we'll not get into that just yet. Follow them on Instagram. They made this beautiful board. Just give them some love. Okay, a few disclaimers before we get into it. Notably, this monstrosity behind me. So this is a projection screen. This is also a projection screen. The problem I have is that I don't have a projector. I wanted to be like overcompensate vibes, you know, Tyler in front of the citizens zoom out with the stuff in front of him. I was like, where's too short for my soul cords on, you know? Like that. But we have this. A slight downgrade. I had a couple prototypes when making this, and we finally got it to look great. This one right here, but we unfortunately ran out of ink, so we just kind of had to Frankenstein splice one of the prototypes onto the end of it, but that was nothing I could control unless I wanted to get this video out before the contract was released. So we're just gonna have to ignore it. Just pretend it's not there. I'll just like permanently stand right here. You don't see a thing. Another thing, these are just my opinions and my stupid little predictions. None of them are meant to be taken like seriously. Like, please don't get your feathers in a twist. Over my stupid little predictions behind me. It's just all a little bit of fun, okay? I'd also like to apologize if there's a lot of cuts, because this is obviously my first video and I'm finding it hard to speak naturally in front of a camera, so I keep messing up and I keep having to cut in between to like cut out awkward silences. So if it just cuts a lot, please ignore it and just cut me a little bit of slack, okay? I'd also like to apologize if I'm squinting.
Hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Or looking behind me, because I should be wearing my glasses, but there's like so many lights in front of me, they just cover up my eyes and it just did not look good at all. So I might be squinting a little bit. I also cannot see a thing. Reading these are going to be a little bit of a challenge. You're probably also wondering, Valentine, what gives you the credentials to give predictions on 21 Pilots? I have been a part-time fan since 2015 and a full-time fan since 2018. I have cried myself to sleep to goner more times than I could count. And when I was 13, I would regularly say on a daily basis, excuse me, could you please leave? So I think I'm pretty qualified for this. With all that being said, let's get on to the predictions. First, the album opens with Hello Clancy, Hello Blurryface. Does everyone remember February last year? And we were all so excited to get into this new era for 21 Pilots, Clancy. And Overcompensate drops. And we hear it. Is that? That's fucking Bandito. I'm not gonna lie, I splooged a little bit. I can't say that. Everybody screamed, "We are officially back in trench, baby!" I feel like the album opener will have a very similar feel. Like, it will try to up the iconicness and the pure bombasticness that was Overcompensate. So, hello Clancy, hello Blurryface. Now, I'm not entirely sure who will be saying this. Will it be Clancy and Nico? Will it be Torchbearer and Nico? Will it be Clancy and Torchbearer? Could you fucking imagine? This is how the contract was announced, and I think this is how it will open. I'd also like to rank my predictions on a scale of how likely they are to happen, so I will give this 8 kitty mask Tylers out of 10. Moving right along. Who is Spooky Jim? Who is Spooky Jim? Who the fuck is Spooky Jim? This is Spooky Jim. This is Spooky Jim. Spooky Jim was essentially the Robin to Blurryface's Joker. Spooky Jim, along with being Josh's old Twitter handle and the inspiration behind the name of his dog, was kind of his alter ego in that era, like how Blurryface was to Tyler. I think the concept of Spooky Jim is really, really funny for 2 reasons. 1, what a name! You're telling me this motherfucker is called Spooky Jim? Spooky Jim? That's just inherently funny. Secondly, Blurryface has been kind of brought back into the lore. Nico is Blurryface, and Blurryface has been name dropped in songs. Stressed out. Spooky Jim? Nada. Nothing. This man is not in the lore. So now that we're getting back into Josh wearing red eyeshadow, something he notoriously did when he was Spooky Jim, and getting kind of back into that alter ego, you think he's going to be brought up in the lore somewhere. A letter or name drop, kind of like Blurryface or Josh Dunn. But no. I think this man will continue to be ignored. This is just Josh, or Torchbearer. This man does not exist. Wait. I think Spooky Jim not being brought up anywhere ever again is extremely accurate, so I will give it 9. Bye, Josh. Hope you find your drum. Out of 10. Next. Tyler is Blurryface in a music video. This is Blurryface. This is also Blurryface. This is a Blurryface. I can see where you can get confused. I need Tyler to be in the full Blurryface getup. I'm talking red socks, red beanie, red contacts, black neck, black hands, just like in Stressed Out and Fairly Local. I've been seeing a lot of people saying that Breach is kind of like the love child between Clancy and Blurryface, with Trench in there as their third. So I'd like to see some elements of Blurryface come back. It has been 10 years after all.
I miss my wife tails. I miss her a lot.
And while I love the new look, I love the stole, I love the kitty cat mask, I need Blurryface Tower to make a reappearance. Do I think this prediction is accurate? I don't know. I just feel like some fans might be a bit confused when there's 2 Blurryfaces. I'll give it 6.5 Blurryface accents out of 10. Next. Clancy was being seized by Nico. I don't want this to happen. I really don't want this to happen. So if you aren't caught up with the lore, why are you watching this video? I'm not going to sit here and gentle parent explain this to you. So basically, it has been explained in the lore that Clancy can be seized without being dead. It is not explained why or how yet. Clancy's just special like that. Clancy's YN. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but has there been like any documented time where Clancy has been seized by the bishops? I don't think so. I could just be remembering wrong, but Clancy has explicitly told us in a letter that he can be seized, but we haven't had an actual example of that yet. So why did this specific detail get brought up? Let's just face it, Clancy is going to betray Torchbearer and the Banditos. But he will magically be redeemed because it wasn't really him and he was being seized. I really don't want this, but it will probably happen. I want Clancy to be selfish. I want him to be power hungry. I want him to be completely unredeemable. That's what makes him such a complex and interesting character. I don't want a fake out. I don't want it. It wasn't really me. It's okay, Clancy. I forgive you. Shut up. But unfortunately, I think this has a high likelihood of happening. I'll give it 8 smears out of 10. 11-track album. I'm sorry, when did they make this? Rue?
When was this?
Did they record this when they were making Clancy? I don't think so. Did they record this on tour? Where? On the tour bus? Tyler was white boy rapping on the Twilight Pies tour bus. I think the fuck not. Did they record this over the winter break? When did this happen? Because they definitely didn't record it in the however many long days was between London Night 2 and the announcement of the contract. So, with limited time to create a full album, I think it might be a bit shorter than their usual 14-track run. It would likely be similar to their middle Forgotten Child scaled and Isley with only 11 tracks. Am I happy about this? No. I am a content-hungry child who demands more even after I've been fed plenty. Do I think it's accurate? Yes. 9 avenues out of 10. Clancy in a bishop's robe in a music video. I think it'd be really compelling if in one music video we saw Clancy putting on the bishop's robe for the first time, but like in another we see him take it off, like a true like come to light moment. I also think it'd be really great if we could see Clancy becoming what he truly hated. What am I saying? I just think it'd be really sick to see Tyler in a bishop's robe. Yes, I am that shallow. Fucking sue me. I will add on to this at a later placement, notably right here, but I do think this is pretty likely to happen. Clancy will betray his people and become a bishop. They are missing one after all. Rest in peace, Keons, you were a real one.
In the arms of the angel.
7 trashes out of 10. Blurryface voice used in multiple songs. Now don't get it twisted. There is a difference between a Blurryface accent and a Blurryface voice, though both keep me up at night for 2 very different reasons. When I say Blurryface voice, I'm referring to Fairly Local and these fuck-ass videos Tyler is posting from his roleplay account. We can already see Blurryface trying to force his way onto other songs, such as Lavish, for some fucking reason. So you're telling me the song about getting in your by a butt doctor now has a Blurryface feature? So anyways, I think we'll probably hear more songs on the album with this kind of low, haunting voice. Maybe for like backing vocals or like spoken word stuff, maybe even a verse. 7.5, whatever the fuck this is, out of 10. The cycle is ambiguously broken. This whole time we've been following Clancy through this cycle he's been trying to break. No matter what he does, the cycle continues. We see little nods to this, such as Clancy is always captured by Nico. We are back in Trench at the beginning of Clancy and during the Clancy World Tour, after the Paladin Straight is played, the last song of the album, and supposedly the end.
You tell me. Does it sound like the end?
Jumpsuit plays. We are back in the beginning of Trench. The cycle continues. So now that we're coming to the actual end of the story, I think the cycle will be broken. We've got to have a happy ending to the story. But will it? I think we will get the illusion that the cycle has been broken. But this whole time, the story has been an allegory for mental health. And you can break the cycle, but you can also be looped right back in. I don't fucking know why I'm trying to be deep. 5 flat patties out of 10. Clancy becomes a bishop. I spoke a little bit about this earlier, but I'll tell you now what I actually mean. So, now, don't laugh at me. But I think we might have a one of us moment between Clancy and the bishops. I'm telling you, we will see his inauguration and becoming a bishop. I can see a couple ways of this being done. Maybe just him putting on the robe, getting his face painted the black and the white like all the other bishops do. Maybe we will see this in the form of him seizing someone in a more malicious way than he had before. Maybe we can see this in 2 different ways. The most likely one in a music video, but we could also now, ignore my wishful thinking, maybe we could see it on tour, somewhat similar to the Message Man's hand painting. 5.5 Joyride out of 10. The opening of Heavy Dirty Soul is the end of the last song. This adds on to my point of the cycle being ambiguously broken. It probably would have benefited to be right next to it, but I can't really change it now, so just deal with it. Just imagine at the end of the last song on Breach, it's quiet, it's slowing down, and then you faintly hear the grainy opening of Heavy Dirty Soul, and it builds up and it just cuts. We are back at the very beginning again, and the cycle remains. I don't know, I just think it'd be really cool. 4 Josh's drumming on the road out of 10. A song from the Torchbearer's perspective. I really cooked with this one, gang, I'm not even gonna lie. If there isn't a song on Breach already from Torchbearer's perspective, those boys better haul their asses back into that studio pronto. I mean it! Don't you think it'd be really cool to hear a song from his perspective? I want that Clancy diss track. Like, it can be about his broken trust. the grief he feels from losing Clancy, the anger from his betrayal, how deep down he can still see the good in Clancy and hopes he can see it in himself. Sorry, I need to remember that this isn't a fan fiction on a really serious album, guys. Overall, I think this would be a really smart and interesting thing to add to this album. I would also like Josh to sing it, but beggars cannot be choosers. Read that one Josh Love fan art out of 10. Villain ass song from Clancy. I want a villain song from Clancy. I want it. What I'm picturing is a fast, maybe even rap song with heavy drums and some rock elements. Think a more intense Heavy Dirty Soul, and it's just Clancy going fucking ham. The lyrics can be about him being a bishop and loving the power it gives him. We saw this being hinted at in the last letter of the FPE event. I want a villain song from Clancy owning and loving this dark and evil side of him. I can see this as verse 1, I am evil now, and it's dope, chorus. Verse 2, I am evil now, and it's less dope, chorus. Bridge, I am evil now, and I'm starting to find out that my actions have consequences for not only myself, but others, and maybe being a bastard isn't such a good thing. Chorus. Doesn't that sound cool? I don't care. I also think it'd make great edit material. 4.5, I'm trying to get something done out of 10. Free space. I don't know why bingo cards have them. Moving right along. Goner level sad song. I'm not saying Goner is Twenty Pilots' saddest song. I think there are many more sadder and better written songs than Goner. Redecorate. I'm just saying we'll probably get something on the same wavelength as Goner. I think it will match the desperation in the words and how they're sung, more specifically in the quivers when he says, "Don't let me be gone." I think it will start out desolate and hopeless, quiet and meek, then explode into this loud plea for someone to save him, mirroring Goner. So, essentially, I want Goner 2.0, but better written.
Oh, hell no, man. What the
Excuse me.
I'm joking, but the singing and instrumentation does outweigh the actual lyrics by a ton. Except for I Want to Be Known by You. That makes me want to cry, bro. 5 out of 10. Swiftly moving on. At least 5 music videos. So we saw on the last album that it was possible for them to make a music video for each song. It is possible. But is it worth it? I like every music video for Clancy. I do. But music videos are really expensive, and we can see that for every music video that isn't necessarily lore heavy. Just a little bit lackluster, you know? Even with my predicted 11-track album, I really don't think we'll get a music video for every song. We even saw that Clancy got pushed back because they wanted to make a music video for each song. I don't think that's something they want to do again. Pushing back something that has to be mass released on a certain date must be a pain in the ass and a really tricky process. So my thinking is that we will get 5 music videos, a good number, and enough content for us, but they are not breaking the bank and pushing back dates. 7, the music video is just pointing signs out of 10. Fake Bear. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I kind of ran out of ideas with this one. This is not referencing the confirmed fake theory that people thought that the next soul that Josh had said Fake Bear when it was confirmed that it was in Ukrainian and said Torchbearer. What I'm saying is that we will see Josh playing alongside Clancy in music video, but not as Torchbearer. This is just Josh. But it can't be just Josh because that wouldn't make sense to the lore. So this is just a guy who looks like Josh playing the drums beside Evil Clancy. Man, I wish they set up an actual named lore character for Josh to play when he wasn't being Torchbearer. I don't fucking know. This doesn't get a ranking because I said so. Clancy dies. I know, this wouldn't make sense in the message of the story. After all, this is all an allegory for mental health. Not to be blunt, but Clancy dying would essentially mean killing yourself, and the band's entire message from the very start has always been stay alive. But outside of that, I kind of think it makes sense that Clancy dies. I mean, it was alluded to when Dema.org sent out that message that Clancy was dead. It will finally break the cycle. Not necessarily in the best way, but it means it's broken. It can be a sacrifice that will make such a great and emotional ending to the story we've been following for years. But I don't think many of you will agree with me or like this ending to the story. Call me a pessimist. I don't give a fuck. Clancy fucking dies. 5, I don't give a fuck out of 10. Blurryface Twitter account is deactivated. I don't have much to say for this one. The Blurryface Twitter has been around since 2015, always there to drop cryptic messages and little bits of lore. After the album drops, and the story is officially over, there is essentially no use for the account anymore. I think that the day Breach is released, Blurryface will disappear, deactivate on Twitter, and possibly never activate again. 9, Blurryface loves that spacebar out of 10. Torchbearer's theme is incorporated somehow. I don't know what it is, man, but something about Torchbearer's theme makes me feel sick. The first time I heard it was when I saw them live last month, and I don't know what it was about it, but it just made my stomach turn. There's just something incredibly eerie about it. I know it probably has something to do with music theory and how it goes down the scale, but I almost feel music and pretty much forgotten everything about it. I would love it to be an interlude or maybe even the chords for a song. No particular one. I just want it somewhere in there. 3 torchbearers lighting Clancy's head on fire out of 10. The actual end. This will be the actual end. That's it. I'm joking. I know I said earlier that I didn't think that the cycle would actually end and the story would revert back to the beginning, but I do believe this will be the end of the lore and any continuation of the story. I don't think there will be any more songs or album or anything to continue the story. I think this is actually the end. It is sad. I mean, thousands of people, including myself, have been following along with the story for years, putting in their time and effort into decoding shit and finding all the hidden details. And it is a story I think a lot of us can relate to. But I also think it is necessary for it to come to an end. This chapter just needs to end so another can open. .5
Does it sound like the end?
out of 10. Blue is very prominent. Sorry, everyone's fucking sorry. Everything is blue-black. For me. In all seriousness, now that Blurryface has crawled his way from the deep, dark, hellish hole he resides and deserves to be, I've been thinking back to some of his old tweets. One in particular. Yes, I am reading this from this phone. How the fuck am I supposed to remember this? You never wear blue. Never wear blue. Blue is a sign of defeat. Wear it one time, on stage as a sign, and I'll stop tormenting your tormented fleet. The same day I remembered that tweet was the same day I had found that someone had reversed one of those creepy ad videos from Blurryface's Twitter. So apparently some people can hear when you reverse this video.
No, 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 yeah.
The blue, the blue, the blue, the blue, the blue has ruined you. I don't know where I'm fucking going with this, but I think blue is going to be pretty prominent. I think there'll be something to do with blue. 2 blue blacks out of 10. Full concept album. So if you aren't aware what a concept album is, it's essentially an album where every song has a connecting through line, a story essentially. It's all connected to a story they're trying to tell. A great example I'd like to use is an album that a lot of people know and most aren't aware is a concept album, which is The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. Not to get fully into it, but essentially it's a story about a man dying with cancer, and every single song, with varying degrees, all connect to that somehow. I believe that Breach will be a concept album. Every single song will have something to do with the story and the lore. Some may not have as much to do with it as others, but I think they will all have that connection to it. 7 awful cancer covers out of 10. Trench Will Burn. I personally love this one because not a single person agrees with me. So when you think of Dima, what is the first thing you think of? For me, and many others, is that it is made entirely out of concrete. The grassy parts are on the outside in trench. And I'm not too sure if you're aware of this, but concrete doesn't burn. I know, you're all screaming at me now. But Valentine, we already saw Dima burn on tour. Wrong. We saw fire. We saw Dima. We didn't necessarily see Dima on fire. We saw in front of Dima fire. But not Dima. If we follow my theory that Clancy betrayed the Bandidos and Torchbearer, I feel like, you know, cinematically, it would also be great if Trench also burnt down, because it's another thing, his freedom, gone. Trench was a sign of freedom, and now it's a wasteland. You can tell I did English literature, can you? This is so The Doors blue. This is the one hill I die on, 8.5 United Violists out of 10. Letters as lyrics, in brackets, redecorate. I know it was only in the beginning of the song, but I really loved how they used one of Clancy's letters as spoken word lyrics. And honestly, I love if they do something similar for Breach, or really any song they release. I just fucking love it. If I had to choose one letter, it'd probably be Torchbearer's letter to Clancy, or Clancy's letter to Torchbearer. More specifically, the crown is heavy, but I can carry it. This city needs hope, and I alone can give it to them. Or, I will be the example of absolute power. I feel alive again. Can you imagine that being the beginning of a song, just like Redecorate? I don't think this is really accurate, but I really want it to happen. 4.5, how does the postal system in Dima work out of 10? Disappearing Torchbearer explanation. This isn't a more of a want than a need. I need to know how he does it and what relevance this has to the story. I know, funny, haha, Forrest fake Josh isn't real, but how does Torchbearer go from one place and then just disappear? What is going on? Does Clancy have schizophrenia? I just want to know how it works and what it means in the grand scheme of this story. Also, might I add, the last Blurryface video included the word hallucination. And what is the only hallucination we have seen so far? I just need an explanation for this witchcraft. 7 Josh isn't rails out of 10. And so we conclude my bingo. Like I said, I don't think many of my predictions are going to be accurate. This is just what I'm hoping for and what I want. When Breach releases, I would like to come back and show if I actually got a bingo or not. And if I don't, that's going to be a very short and disappointing video. I'd really appreciate if you could show this video a little bit of love, considering it is my first one and it took a lot of time and effort. And I really just want to share my love for this band with other fans. Damn. Take a shot every single time I say lore. You'll be dead. So, I just got done editing, and I have failed my mission to get this out the day before the contract releases, because it is currently the 12th of June. So it releases today, but in 5 hours or something. So, hopefully I can get this out before it actually comes out, just on the day. I just wanted to say some things I didn't really coherently articulate in my outro. That's why half of it got cut, because I was just waffling for 5 minutes straight, repeating the same things over and over again. So now I will say it more clearly. So if you made it this far into the video, I just want to say I appreciate you so much. A lot. So much time and effort has went into making this video, and just know if someone's watched it to the end, makes me so happy. As much as it was a pain, this was so fun to make, and there's been many times where I've been editing this that I've just doubled over laughing, even though it probably isn't as funny to you guys as it is to me. It was just so fun making this, and if you guys like this, and even if you don't, I would possibly make more. I already have an idea for another video, so hopefully you will see that soon. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and power to the local dreamer.